Welcome. Today we're going to go over adding a supervisor in your PrimeNet application. So from wherever you are in the application, I just happen to be on the dashboard, but it doesn't matter. You're going to want to go to Security and then Supervisors. This will be a list of your supervisors you currently have in the system, if any. To add a new supervisor, and again, this is just for the company you're in. If you have more than one company that requires you to switch, you will need to add supervisors in each company. If you have one supervisor that needs to be added to multiple companies, you'll need to reach out to support so that once you've added that supervisor in, they could attach them to multiple companies, as you would not be able to use the same email to enter an employee into company A and then turn around and enter them into company B. So if you've got one supervisor that needs to be a supervisor in 2 or 3 different companies, reach out to support with that supervisor info and the level of access you want them to have, and we can enable the other companies for them. And then they would just use the company feature to switch back and forth to see the employees you have assigned them to in those companies. But to add a new supervisor, again, Security and then Supervisors. Click on Add New Supervisor, and we have to fill out this information. The login name should be an email address. Their first name, last name, their email address again, if I can get this right here. Normally I would just copy and we would add it in here. The next you have to do is make sure you've got them on the correct role. This is going to be supervisor, where they can go in and approve time. They can approve PTO requests, modify timesheets. You more than likely won't have this one, although it is a possibility that they would be able to view the employees that are in the system that they have access to. Typically, that's not a requirement. Then we've got the read-only. So usually you're going to use the read-only or the supervisor, and then you're going to click Save. One other thing here, the SMS notifications, you could put their phone number and choose their carrier. I don't believe AT&T is participating in this anymore, but the others still are. And that way, if they've got missing punches or something, it should send them a text message that they have missing punches that need to be looked at within the application. I just wanted to add that in. So this would be their 10-digit phone number, their carrier, and then you're going to click Save. Once you've clicked Save, it will disappear. They are not going to appear on your list to be able to assign employees until they have activated their account. So they will need to activate their account first. They're going to go to their email. They're going to look for an email from PrimeNet. And if it's not in the inbox, have them check their spam or junk for the email from PrimeNet. Now we've got 2 things on here, 3 things really. They've got their login name, they've got a temporary password, and I'm going to copy this with no spaces after and no space before, and then I'm going to click on this link. If your link appears broken and it's on another line, and it's not taking you to the screen we need to go to, then you may need to copy it and then paste it in the browser. Different emails work in different ways, but I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Now it wants the password that was sent, which is the temporary password. So I just paste that in, either Control V or right click and paste, either way. And you're going to create a new password. And once you have that in, it needs to be at least 6 characters long, no more than 12. It needs to have a capital letter, a number, and a special character inside that password somehow in order to be taken. So I've got that created here. I'm going to click Activate. My account was successfully activated. I can click here to log in, and then sign in. And that brings me to my dashboard, but you'll notice I don't have any employees here. If I go to my edits and time management, no employees. I'm not going to have any employees yet, because until I activate my account, my manager or administrator cannot assign employees to me. So once this is activated, the administrator would go to security and supervisors. And now we can see that we have this. You would be able to click assign employees, and you can search via their card ID or their name, but if I click filter, all the employees are going to appear. Or if I want to go to the employees just of a specific department, I can choose my level department and the actual department and click filter. These are the only 2 people in that department. If I put this back on, well, all right here and click filter, there's all my employees. So I can separate by these just by clicking here. Let's see who's in marketing and click filter. These are all the people in the marketing department. I can click here to select all of them, or uncheck that and just select the ones that I want to be assigned to the supervisor. I click confirm, and now when the supervisor logs in, they will have access to those 3 employees. But maybe the supervisor also needs access to a couple other employees that may work for them from time to time, but yet they're not the primary employees of the supervisor. So I can go here to secondary, and again we'll go to department, and maybe they're in maintenance. There's 1 person. I click here, click confirm, and click OK. And now I've successfully assigned that employee under my supervisor's secondary position. So his primary employees are assigned here, and the secondary are here. Not everyone needs the secondary, and that's fine. Once you have the employees assigned, then that user is able to log in, and they will be able to see their employees. And depending on the role that you gave them is going to depend on whether, what they're going to be able to see and do within the application. And on this specific role, I can see the employee, but I can't edit anything. I can see the shift differential, the schedule. I can go to a next employee and see that information. I can see if any requests are here. And there's no new requests. I can see exceptions. and I would be able to run some reports on my employees and only my employees. So that's all you need to do to be able to add a supervisor into the system, to be able to view the employees and using the role that you wanted. If you don't see the role that you want, in other words, maybe it's just supervisor, but you don't see a supervisor read only, or you have specific requirements that you want that supervisor to be able to do or see, you'll need to reach out to your tech support so that they can create that role and assign it to your company for you to be able to choose from. Thank you for watching.